The life visioning process comes with an awareness that there are stages to our growth, development, and unfoldment. And I've synthesized the stages into 4 stages. And of course, when we're dealing with something that is unlimited, something that is infinite, there are probably infinite stages. But for the sake of this conversation, we've broken them down into 4 stages just to begin to understand our maturation and the growth process. Please be aware that we're entering into this with an awareness that these stages are non-linear. Though I will be making a description of them that appears to go from 1 to 4, in reality, they don't have a linearity to them. You can actually be experiencing a dimension of your life in which you are feeling totally at one with excellence, totally at one with the life of God, operating from a stage 4 awareness, while at the same time having areas of your life where you feel absolutely victimized by external circumstances. So don't look upon this as a linear stair step. Look upon this as a way of identifying areas in your life of which you may have attained a level of mastery, and areas of your life where you have not yet achieved mastery. And this simply becomes a window by which we can begin to describe these stages as we prepare ourselves for the greater understanding of the technology of the life visioning process and where that emerges from in our spiritual practice for growth, development, and unfoldment. With that in mind, I can now say stage 1 is the victim. The victim has a tendency to think that life is doing something to them. Thus, we say that the victim says something is doing something to me. It's an external deity, it's a God, it's a circumstance, a situation, their parents. In some places of lesser development, they would even say something like it's the devil or something to that effect. The victim stage is characterized by what is life doing to me? What are those people doing to me? I'm victimized. Every victim has a powerful "they did it to me" story. They have a powerful blame story. You can ask a victim, why aren't they happy? Why aren't they evolving? Why aren't they successful? Why aren't things going right for them? And they will immediately have a story. And primarily about 90%, I would say, would have a story about how somebody else did it to them. Some force, something out there is the cause of their not moving forward with their life. All victims have a blame story. It's not their fault. They are not to blame. And they have a tendency to live from the awareness of why me? Why is God doing this to me again? Why is the universe doing this to me again? They live constantly asking that question, or their prayer life and their meditation life is erratic and is oftentimes filled to overflowing with a begging or a beseeching or try to win favor from an external deity, trying to convince this God outside of themselves that they're a good person or to forgive them or for God to love them. They live practicing gossip. They live practicing blame. They live constantly hanging in the frequency of fear and worry, incessant worry oftentimes. And they have the tendency to project their unresolved issues about life unto the future and believe that the future or the unknown is going to be bad and negative, and they're constantly preparing for this unknown negative future, not realizing they've just projected their unresolved issues into the unknown and are calling it their future. And so the victim is saying, why is life doing this to me? We would describe this individual as a person that is living from reaction to reaction. They're being pushed by the universe through oftentimes painful measures to get them to grow. As I like to say from time to time, pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. But they have not yet been pulled by any vision of a higher vibration, a higher frequency, or that which is seeking to evolve through them, they're being pushed by pain and feel that life is drudgery, boring, or something to be protected by. And so oftentimes much of their resources, mental and otherwise, are used to cope with life, to defend themselves against bad things that might occur, and all of their energy that would normally go into being creative is siphoned into compulsive behaviors, coping mechanisms, and defense mechanisms. This is not to be our lot in life. As the spiritual image and likeness of the divine, as a representation, a representation of the omnipresence, we are not here to live a life of victimization. We are here to live a life of growing from one level of completeness to another level of completeness. You may know victims in your life. You may feel that you are identifying yourself as a victim. I may have just described your life. Be heartened. You can change.